The New Year's Eve crime. The last night of 2015 began as it should, with fireworks exploding across the sky and families gathered in celebration. But for Michael and Catherine Hayes, that New Year's Eve would become the marker of a tragedy that would divide their lives into before and after. The girl was 8 years old. Dark, curly hair, deep brown eyes, a shy smile that could light up any room. Her name was Emma. The night everything changed. The Hayes family had gathered at their beachfront estate in Santa Monica for their annual New Year's celebration. Michael Hayes, a real estate magnate, stood on the terrace watching the Pacific shimmer under the moonlight. His wife, Catherine, elegant in a silver dress, held little Emma's hand as they counted down to midnight. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! In that moment of collective euphoria, when everyone's attention turned skyward to watch the fireworks, someone moved through the crowd with purpose. Emma had wandered toward the dessert table when a woman's voice, soft and urgent, spoke behind her. "Emma, honey, your mommy asked me to take you inside." The woman wore a server's uniform. She looked official enough. Emma hesitated, but the woman smiled warmly and extended her hand. In the chaos of celebration, no one noticed the small girl being led through the side gate toward a gray sedan parked on the adjacent street. By the time Catherine turned around, expecting to see her daughter's face glowing in the fireworks light, Emma was already miles away, heading east on Interstate 10. The scream that tore through Catherine Hayes that night would echo in Michael's memory for the next decade. The search and the silence. The FBI established a command center within an hour. Roadblocks went up across Southern California. Amber alerts flashed on every billboard from San Diego to San Francisco. Michael Hayes hired the best private investigators money could buy. But Emma Hayes had vanished. The woman who took her was Rachel Morrison, a mentally unstable woman who had suffered 12 years of miscarriages and failed adoptions. When her husband David lost his job and suggested moving to Georgia for a fresh start, Rachel wanted one more thing: a child to complete their new life. She had seen Emma at a charity event months earlier and had been planning ever since. They settled in Macon, Georgia, enrolling Emma, now called Lily Morrison, in public school. They gave her a bedroom with yellow walls, bought her new clothes, and established what looked like a normal family life. But it was built on a lie, and somewhere deep inside, Emma knew it. Catherine Hayes never recovered. The search consumed the first year. Dozens of leads, each raising hope before crashing into disappointment. Eventually, the FBI scaled back their investigation. Resources were limited. Life moved on. But Catherine couldn't move on. Emma's bedroom remained frozen in time. Catherine stopped attending social events, stopped seeing friends, stopped living. The worst came 3 months after Emma's disappearance. Catherine discovered she was pregnant, a brief moment of hope that shattered at 19 weeks when severe complications forced an impossible choice. Catherine survived, but she would never carry another child. She had lost her daughter and lost the possibility of ever being a mother again. Michael watched his wife disappear into grief and felt powerless. The girl who remembered. Emma, now Lily, remembered fragments, ocean waves, her mother's perfume, her father lifting her high above his head. But the clearest memory was a photograph. On that New Year's Eve before the party, Emma had found a small photo in her parents' bedroom, a picture of her mother and father at their wedding. She had slipped it into her jacket pocket, wanting to keep them close. That photograph survived the kidnapping. When Rachel unpacked Emma's clothes that first night, she found the picture. Emma, still drugged and groggy, had grabbed her arm and whispered, "Mine." Rachel handed it back, and Emma clutched it to her chest like a talisman. Over the years, that photograph became Emma's most precious possession. She hid it in different places, studying every detail: her father's strong jaw, her mother's elegant posture, the way they looked at each other with certainty and love. She knew these were her real parents, and she knew that one day she would find them. Rachel and David weren't cruel parents. They provided for her needs, gave her education, maintained normalcy. But Emma never forgot. When she turned 13 and gained access to school computers, she began researching missing children, cold cases, unsolved kidnappings from 2015. It took months of careful searching. Then, one afternoon in March 2023, she found it. Hayes' family still searching for missing daughter 1 year later. The article included a photo of Michael and Catherine Hayes holding a picture of 8-year-old Emma. Emma stared at the screen, her heart hammering. She recognized them, not from clear memory, but from something deeper. From that day, Emma's investigation became focused. She learned everything about Michael and Catherine Hayes. She discovered they had never stopped looking for her. The plan. Emma's 17th birthday came without celebration. That night, she decided she would find her parents. She would reclaim her stolen life. But she needed proof. She needed a way to approach them that wouldn't result in immediate dismissal. The answer came in November 2023. Scrolling through news feeds, Emma saw an article. Real estate mogul Michael Hayes honored for decade of philanthropy toward missing children's causes. The photos showed Michael at a podium, silver-haired and grief-worn. Another photo showed him with Catherine, who looked fragile and haunted, standing slightly behind him. Emma zoomed in on Catherine's face and felt tears streaming down her cheeks. This was her mother. She had an address, she had faces she would recognize, and in 2 months, she would turn 18. Emma saved every dollar from babysitting and tutoring jobs. She told Rachel and David she wanted to take a graduation trip with friends to Florida. They had no idea she'd been planning her escape for 4 years. The journey home. Emma graduated on May 18, 2024. 3 days later, she packed a small bag, told Rachel she was meeting friends, and instead took a bus to Atlanta Airport. She had booked a one-way ticket to Los Angeles. The flight took 5 hours. Emma spent it clutching the photograph, her thumb tracing edges grown soft from years of handling. When the Uber pulled up to the gates of the Hayes estate, Emma's breath caught. The house was enormous, Mediterranean style, with manicured gardens, and beyond them, the Pacific Ocean glittering in the distance. This had been her home. She pressed the intercom button. After several attempts, a tired voice answered. "Yes?" "Hi, I'm sorry to bother you. I was wondering if I could speak with Mrs. Hayes for just a moment." A long pause. "Who is this?" Emma lied about being a student working on a project. The voice said, "We don't give interviews. Please leave." "Wait, please, I came all the way from Georgia. Please." 10 minutes passed. Then the pedestrian gate clicked open. A woman appeared walking slowly down the driveway. Thin, dark hair streaked with gray, wearing a simple white blouse and jeans. Her deep brown eyes were unmistakable. Emma's mother. The kitchen table. Catherine led Emma to the kitchen, gave her water, and sat down across from her. "You have 5 minutes." Emma took a breath. "My name is Emma. At least, that's my real name. The people I've been living with call me Lily." Catherine's expression flickered. "What do you mean?" "Mrs. Hayes," Emma said, steadily. "I am your daughter. I was taken from you on New Year's Eve 2015. I was 8 years old. I've been living in Georgia ever since, but I never forgot you. I've been searching for years, and now I found you." Catherine stood abruptly. "Get out." "Mrs. Hayes, get out of my house." Catherine's voice rose sharp with pain. "This is sick. How dare you? I've had dozens of girls show up over the years with stories and claims. I can't do this anymore." Tears streamed down Catherine's face. Emma felt her own eyes burning. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. "I need you to leave," Catherine whispered. "Please, just go." The photograph. Emma turned toward the door, her vision blurred with tears. At the entrance, she paused with her hand on the handle. She could leave, or she could show her mother the truth. Emma reached into her pocket and pulled out the photograph. Worn, almost translucent, colors faded, but the image clear. 2 young people at their wedding, radiant with love. She turned back. "Wait, before I go, I want you to have this back." She held out the photograph. Catherine stared. "What is that?" "The only thing I have of my parents," Emma said, trembling. "I've kept it hidden for 9 years. I found your father in a news article about a year ago. I recognized him from this picture, but I couldn't come until I turned 18. When the woman took me, I still had it in my pocket. I've protected it ever since. It's you and my father on your wedding day." Catherine took a hesitant step forward, then another, until she took the photograph from Emma's hand. She held it delicately, tears falling onto the image. "This was in my personal collection," Catherine breathed, "from our wedding album. I kept it in my bedroom. It went missing after that night." She looked up at Emma. "You've had this for 9 years?" "Yes," Emma whispered. "It's all I had of you. I knew I had to find you. I knew I had to come home." Catherine's legs gave out. She sank onto the marble floor, her photograph clutched to her chest, her body shaking with sobs. Emma knelt beside her. Catherine reached out with trembling fingers and touched Emma's face, searching for something she'd lost so long ago. "Emma?" she whispered. "Is it really you?" "Yes," Emma said through tears. "I'm here, Mom. I came home. I finally came home." Catherine pulled Emma into her arms, holding her daughter as if she would never let go. They sat on the marble floor, clinging to each other, crying tears that contained 9 years of grief, and finally, reunion. "My baby," Catherine sobbed. "I never stopped looking. I never stopped believing. It's not your fault, but I'm here now. I found you. I found my way back." The return. Catherine called Michael, who was in San Francisco on business. "Michael, she's here. She's home. Emma's home." After a long silence, Michael's voice came through, raw. "I'm getting on a plane right now. Don't let her leave. I'm coming home." The FBI arrived within an hour. They collected DNA samples. When rapid testing confirmed a 99.99% probability that Emma and Catherine were mother and daughter, the agents smiled. "Mrs. Hayes, your daughter has come home." Michael burst through the door at 6:47 p.m. He stopped in the doorway when he saw them at the kitchen table. "Dad," Emma said softly. He crossed the room and fell to his knees beside her chair, pulling her into his arms with a sob that came from the deepest part of his being. "Emma," he kept saying. "Emma! Emma! Emma!" "I'm here, Dad," she whispered. "I came home." Catherine joined them, wrapping her arms around both of them. They stayed like that, a family reunited, crying and laughing and trying to believe this impossible moment was real. Epilogue. Rachel and David Morrison were arrested in Georgia and eventually convicted. Rachel received 25 years with mandatory psychiatric treatment. David received 20 years. The Hayes family held a press conference 3 days after Emma's return. Emma stood between her parents, the Pacific glittering behind them. "I want other kids in similar situations to know that it's okay to question, to remember, to search for the truth," Emma said. "And I want to thank my parents for never giving up, even when everyone else told them to let go." She turned to Michael and Catherine. "You didn't just give me life once, you gave me something to fight for, something to come home to, and I will spend the rest of my life grateful that I'm your daughter." The weeks that followed were complicated and beautiful. Emma underwent therapy, met extended family, and enrolled in online courses. She talked about studying criminal justice, wanting to help other missing children. Catherine emerged from her shell. She laughed more easily and started attending charity events again, this time with Emma by her side. Michael came home for dinner every night and took Emma surfing, discovering with joy that she took to it naturally. On New Year's Eve 2025, exactly 10 years after Emma was taken, the family gathered on the terrace overlooking the Pacific. As midnight approached, they counted down together. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Fireworks exploded across the sky. Emma stood between her parents, looking up at the stars. She pulled out the photograph, even more worn now, but it had served its purpose. Catherine put her hand over Emma's. "You don't have to carry that anymore, sweetheart. You're home now." "I know," Emma smiled, "but I'll keep it anyway, as a reminder that love is stronger than anything, stronger than distance, stronger than time, and that sometimes, if you hold on long enough and fight hard enough, you can find your way back to where you belong." Catherine pulled her daughter close. Michael wrapped his arms around both of them, and they stood together, a family reunited, watching the fireworks paint the sky with light and possibility. The nightmare that had begun on New Year's Eve 10 years ago had finally ended. Emma Hayes was home, and she was never leaving again. 5 years later, Emma graduated from UCLA School of Law, specializing in family law and victims' rights. On the wall of her new office hung the framed photograph with a plaque below, "Love always finds a way home." Every day, Emma remembered the little girl who refused to forget, the teenager who never stopped searching, and the young woman who found the courage to come home. She knew with absolute certainty that miracles do happen, that families can be restored, that love, when it's real and fierce, can survive anything. The end.